pagi, very good morning to all of you. Thank you for responding to this press conference. We just had a meeting with the acting Deputy High Commissioner of Australia over here, and well, we asked for details of the agreement, the pending agreement, and we were told that today they have started discussions in working out the details, but he was not able to give us further information on what were the details. Because of that, there is a serious information gap on what the agreement is really going to be, and this calls for a concern. But all organizations are firm on the position that this deal is fundamental human rights violations that cannot be accepted, and therefore the deal cannot go through no matter what details are put in, because it is a human rights violations. The 800 will be put in a hostile situation where they will face human rights violations to a country that has not, Malaysia has not ratified the UN Convention on Refugees. Secondly, it is moving refugees from a country that has state obligations to a hostile situation, which is not acceptable, and therefore it sets a very bad precedence on how refugees will be managed in the future, where countries will believe, particularly richer countries, that they can send refugees to any other country as and when they like. And that's not acceptable either. And so we have given a strong message to the Australian government that they should not proceed with the deal. Two, that if they want to, and they should, as a state party to the convention, develop a regional framework on refugees, and we have requested that they organize a consultation with the governments and civil society before the deal goes through on discussing the human rights framework for regional cooperation on looking at refugees and asylum seekers. That was fundamentally what we had discussed with the Deputy High Commissioner. Would any of you like to add?
I think on my part, at the very minimum, the Malaysian government needs to state its position on whether they would recognize the concept of refugees and asylum seekers. Because as it currently stands, Malaysia, as everyone knows, is one of the world's worst places for refugees in the world. So consistently been ranked as within the top 10 worst places for refugees. So refugees, as we know, are arrested, extorted, harassed, detained, and eventually whipped and deported. So for us, it's really shocking how the Australian government can actually conceive to come up with this idea to send refugees, vulnerable people, one of the most vulnerable people, to a country like Malaysia. If they want to make a deal with Sweden, for example, or the UK, it is at least understandable, but not with a country like Malaysia. So at the very minimum, we would like the Malaysian government to state its position on what is their understanding of refugees, and there must be a recognition that that they must change the laws and policies, immigration laws and policies regarding this before any of this deal is even can be discussed, and that they should also make a firm commitment that they should sign the Refugee Convention. So other than that, for us, this deal is a non-starter. Thank you.